while we are moving through this season where many places of our lives are shut down or we're at home, I wanted to take some time to walk you through some of the life that's been going on our campus. Our construction continues. The good news is construction does continue. It hasn't been hampered much by the situation through which we're living right now. I will share with you that the Tellefson Company, which is so great to work with, they've been very careful about social distancing, and there are many cleaning stations on campus, so that's not a concern. It's been great to work with John Clements and Jackson Ryan, our architects, and our building committee under the leadership of Burr Pieper and Buck Ogilvy. They meet on a regular basis with our project manager, Chuck Nelson, to make sure that things are moving along smoothly. So I can share with you at this point that we are actually a little bit ahead of schedule, and we're still on budget, which is great. And because many parts of our life are not shut down, we can kind of move along at a pretty quick pace. So what I wanted to do today is just kind of walk you around some of the projects that are going on so that you can see what's happening. It's very exciting to be here and to see this going on. So here we are in what is going to be the Welcome Center. This was previously the library and the Welcome Center, but because of the tightness of that spot, it didn't really allow us to have a real functioning Welcome Center. So that will be this area. And in some ways, we've designed it to look like a neighborhood coffee shop. So again, we're in the middle of finishing up construction of this area, and we'll be through with this pretty soon. So if you look out this way, you'll see where we'll have a TV monitor here on the wall. You look back in this direction, you see cabinets where we'll have storage, but we'll have tables, chairs, places to sit, and there'll be coffee stations. And in addition, toward the back here, there are two large refrigerators. We're going to have some grab and go items that people can get on Sunday mornings and perhaps at other times. If you swing back around this way, we'll take a look. You'll see some offices. These are associated with our membership and new members and welcoming staff. But I'm really happy, and we really made this decision a few months ago into the beginning designing of this area, that we have opened up all of this so that you'll have a large glass wall that looks out onto the cloister garden. So again, you see how this will really be accessible to the cloister garden. And the other piece here is that this will really be a way where people can come out of church, and this really is a large usable space and lead right over to Bagby Parish Hall. So just a great area that'll be not only for our members, but those who are new and coming to the church wanting to find out more about St. Martin's, they'll be able to do that right here in this spot. Now, this is really exciting because our gift shop, our bookstore, is one of the busiest places on campus on Sunday. In addition to the worship areas and Christian education areas, a lot of people like to come do their shopping for gifts, not only on Sundays, but throughout the week. So we really expanded the gift shop area, as you can see here. There's a little office area, storage area, but we'll have a bigger selection of books available and also gift items. And one of the things that we're going to add is we'll have a section where clergy actually have clergy recommendations of certain books. We've already picked our books out, and that'll be published and available to the church as soon as we're ready to open the doors to the gift shop. But this will be one of the first areas, in addition to the Welcome Center, which is right next to us, that will open up soon. Well, one of the exciting things that is available for those of us who often work behind the scenes are actually the renovated areas of our sacristy and vesting areas. A quick reminder that this is without the volunteers who kind of help us here in these areas on Sunday mornings, our worship would really suffer. So back in this area, to my right and to your left, if you're looking, is the lay reader vesting area. We've expanded that and improved that for those who help us as chalice bearers, as lay readers. Then in the acolyte vesting area for our students and youth who help us in worship on Sunday morning, a quick reminder that we have over 100 acolytes, and keep in mind that the average Episcopal Church has about 175 members, so we have a great team of acolytes, and we want to make sure that we have the right space for them. And then lastly, of course, I think we have the best clergy in the Episcopal Church, and that clergy number has grown with the addition, hopefully, of Dick Elwood here in a few months. We'll have right at a dozen clergy, and each of them will have a little vesting cubby. And then thinking ahead, years out from now, we've increased that several fold. So there's several little cubbies in there beyond just those that exist for our staff now. So now we're in what will be Christ Chapel. This is going to be a great place to worship. Most all of you hopefully have seen the design of the chapel, and it is meant to be intimate. There'll be about 200 seats, pews for 200 people to come worship. Think of our Wednesday worship services, small weddings, small funerals, baptisms. The altar will be to my right, but as you look out, you'll see toward the top of the chapel, there are 7 spaces where we'll have stained glass windows on each side. The stained glass now is being prepared in Winona, Minnesota by the Willett Hauser Company. Some of the same artisans that worked on the stained glass for the main church where we worship week after week are working on these as well. If you look up toward the balcony area, there's a small balcony there, but that won't be for worshipers. That will be for those who offer music in this place. Soloists, perhaps some musicians, but most especially the new organ, which is being crafted now by the Casavant Organ Company in Quebec, Canada. Well, as some of you will remember, a few years ago, we had a tympanum created to cover the main doors of the big church where we gather every week to worship, and we thought this presented us with an opportunity to do the same here. So a wonderful, beautiful tympanum. Again, we had several months where we spent design. We went back and forth on design a little bit, and finally landed on a design around the scene of the Nativity of our Lord. And since this is Christ Chapel, we thought that would be a good scene to depict on that tympanum. It will go right above the doors, right above me here, and I think you'll be very pleased with it. A quick reminder that we're going to have 2 beautiful garden areas here. There'll be one plaza area that will include some seating and fountain areas, another area toward Sage. Sage will actually be cut off from sight so that as people come by, there'll be some privacy there to enjoy either the first garden, which is right up next to Sage, or the second garden, which really comes right up next to what will be Christ Chapel. Well, now we're in the what used to be the altar area of the old church, and now is the area behind Christ Chapel. So there'll be a large wall that separates this area from Christ Chapel, and at the top of that wall again, a large stained glass window of Christ surrounded by the apostles. But I'm in what will be the choir rehearsal area. So the design of this room is purposely, you'll see, elevated to resemble the area in which they actually lead us in worship on Sundays and in anthems, in music and hymns. I'm standing in what will be the Pastoral Care Center. The clergy will be upstairs on the second floor of this building, some administration on the bottom floor, but in addition, there'll be a large bride's room. Very excited about that. On the other side of this building, there will be, on the bottom floor, a larger vestry conference room that can also be used for Christian education space during the week and on Sundays. So this also has in mind the fact that St. Martin's will continue to grow. So there are other offices that are planned for and already part of this building that at this point won't be used, but probably will be used in the years ahead. Looking out of the second floor of the Pastoral Care Center, and of course it looks to be a mess right now, but this is where the cloister garden on the west side of the campus. In this cloister garden, there'll be 3 fountains, one large fountain in the center, and then one to the north, one to the south, and again, areas to sit and to reflect, to meditate, and fellowship on Sundays. We'll be taking down the old island, and then we have to build a retention pond under there. So we have to dig pretty far down, create a retention pond, repave this area. It's going to require some disruption for 6 to 8 weeks or so, and then things will be back to normal, and we'll have additional parking, which is something that people have wanted a long time. Behind me is the chiller and the utility building that we have on campus. There'll be maintenance workers who carry out their work here. There'll be a shop, there'll be offices for our support staff that keep our buildings and grounds together, and the whole HVAC system is being moved to this end of the campus. That means that large building on the corner of Sage and Woodway will be taken down, making way for more parking. We're very excited. This is the first piece of the project that's come to completion, and it will be occupied in a matter of days. This is the new chiller building. Well, in just a few moments, we're going to go into the Parish Life Center, our last stop on this tour. Right now, I'm standing in what will be the narthex of the Parish Life Center. But if you look out behind me, over my shoulders, you'll see a little courtyard area. This is the area between the Parish Life Center and what will be the Children's Life Center. And we can't go into that building today because we've had a lot of rain and there's a lot of mud in that journey. But it is a wonderful facility, been carefully designed, very child-friendly, lots of classrooms, meeting areas. In the middle, there'll be a little green space. And then I should share with you that as a gift to St. Martin's, we actually are in the process of creating a very large, beautiful bronze statue of Jesus welcoming two little children into his lap. And it's going to go into this courtyard. It's going to be a nice piece of artwork that will be a nice transition point. We are in now what will be the Parish Life Center. It's a multi-purpose facility that will be used in large part for worship on Sundays and perhaps worship at other times. We're looking not only at the family table service, but our other contemporary worship alternatives. And those, will, of course, will take place here. But this will also be a place that while we have chairs with kneelers, so it's appropriate for worship, they can be moved out. We can have meals here. We can have events here. There can be dramatic presentations, music concerts, gatherings of groups, receptions, and things like that. Those of you who attend and participate in the Christian Life Study on Thursdays, this will likely be the area where you gather for your closing session. It's a great space. It'll seat about 700 people all told. And the top there'll be wooden beams, and it'll be really lovely decorations in this that are appropriate and in the style of St. Martin's. We're even making use of some pieces of the old church here, which will make more clear as we get closer to the end of construction. On three sides, three walls, on the east wall, the west wall, and on the wall facing the north over what this would be the altar area above the altar, there are three large, very large, beautiful stained glass windows, now again being designed and completed by the Willett Hauser Company. The scenes are depicting connecting points with Jesus and children. One is the scene of Jesus as in the nativity at his birth, another scene Jesus teaching in the temple, and another where Jesus is welcoming the little children. A quick reminder that nativity scene window is a window we're calling the all givers window, and we're asking everybody to contribute to the building and construction and payment for that window. It's $670,000 for that window, for the design, construction, installation, protection, lighting, all those things. So we're asking people to consider a gift in honor of your children, your grandchildren, those you love. So I want to say a word to you about the Building for the Ages campaign. As you know, our initial goal was to raise $55 million, and we knew that would cover the corpus of the construction, and we have about 55 million and then some in pledges, and those are coming through, and we're very pleased to say so many people paid ahead on their pledge. So far we haven't dipped into our construction loan, but we know by the time we get through with financing, some of the costs associated with moving around campus, some of the temporary buildings we've had to set up, the end cost will be probably closer to $61, $62 million. So while we've had over 1,000 parish households participate in supporting this campaign, that lets you know that we have a lot of our members who have yet to pledge to the Building for the Ages campaign. So even during this time, I would get you to prayerfully consider a pledge to the Building for the Ages campaign. We're doing those pledges over a 3 to 5 year period. So if that's something you want to do, get in touch with Marty Bastian or Ashley Pratka here at the church, and we'll walk you through that process. Very exciting time, and we want everybody to feel a sense of ownership in this project that we're doing. So when we come to the conclusion, our buildings and grounds will be really in a better place to continue to carry out our mission as we get excited about the dedication, which is scheduled for December 13th of this year. We'll have the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, Michael Curry, with us for that, along with several other special guests that will be here on our campus. But once we're through, This will enable us to continue to make and grow disciples for Jesus Christ. So we hope you'll continue to pray for this project, pray for those working on this project, that we have a successful conclusion, and then when we open our doors, we can continue to lift up the ministries of St. Martin's, make Jesus' name known even more powerfully in our community, do the work He's called us to do, and love those He sends our way. Thank you, God bless you, and thanks for going on this tour with me.